Other questions? Yes.
On the energy side, co-generation side of energy, it doesn't escape me that the paper mills are having a very hard time. And one of the reasons for the hard time is the tremendous expense of running those mills by way of energy. At the same time, we're talking about biomass, increasing biomass generation, and it would seem to me that the place to build biomass plants are right next to the paper plants, because the waste heat from the biomass plants can power the paper mill plants to do what they're doing in a synergistic way. And it would be very good for the state of Maine, and if we had done that, I doubt that we would have seen the loss in paper that we've seen so far. What are your thoughts?
You mean the loss in paper jobs?
Paper jobs.
Yeah. The loss in paper jobs, again, a lot of the effort that we've had in this administration have been to keep these mills open. There were 5 paper mills that closed in the first 4 years of this administration. There was Millinocket. Millinocket, the Great Northern Paper Company, filed bankruptcy the night the governor was inaugurated. And, welcome. So now Great Northern Paper Company was the largest paper company in the world in 1965. Not in Maine, not in New England, not in America, in the world, in 1965. So Great Northern closed, Fraser closed a mill, shut down 2 machines at J, Lincoln closed, Old Town closed, Warsaw closed. I'm missing one, Tom.
DuPage closed down machines.
DuPage closed the machine, but it was...
Actually, the #1 machine went from uncoated paper to pulp.
Domtar closed. Domtar closed.
And there were changes within the groups that stayed around, and Otis closed.
And Otis closed. So today, we have back up and running with new management, some new owners. We have Lincoln up and running with a new owner, new investment, new paper machine. Old Town is up and running with a new owner, new investment. I think we can put the biomass plant next to the paper mill in Millinocket. You'll have the number 11 machine running, which makes a light-coated super calendar paper like Madison does. You'll have that machine open again. Fraser, Domtar is back open again after closing. Now Domtar, I think Domtar is open because of the black liquor credits that were a part of the federal energy bill. And I don't know, I hope that they're successful. Price of pulp is way up. The earthquake in Chile closed 10% of the pulp supply in the world will be taken offline because of the earthquake in Chile. Did you know that, Saviello?
Oh, they grow radiated pine there, it grows very quickly.
I knew he knew the answer. But the deal is right, is you put the biomass next to the mills, and you get the energy and the steam and part of the process, and you have much better energy dependability.
Just quick follow on that. Have you been in touch with Dick Hill at all to talk to him about biomass experience and doing the relating to the harvesting of the wood products and the transportation of the wood products and the petroleum utilized to do all of those things and all this other. In other words, the crunching the numbers. Dick Hill, I suggest strongly you give him a call.
Yeah.
We haven't done so.
No, he's one of the smartest guys in Maine, and I don't agree with him on nuclear power, but I think he's right on a lot of his analysis of wood to energy. Again, we should be developing rail lines and making sure these rail lines are up to speed instead of closing them down and making barriers to movement. What is it, 30% of the cost of moving goods by rail compared to by truck?
It's actually 75% better. So you're close to your 30% number, but you can move.
I knew he'd correct me.
You can move mass about 4 times the amount of mass on rail traffic that you can for the same amount of energy for truck traffic. So I think give him a call because he could be useful for giving you some numbers you might need.
How are we doing on time, Tom?
You got about 10 minutes.
Questions?
A couple more questions.
Yes.
I think you've outlined are really exciting. I think would pose a good future for our state. You also mentioned that our tax codes date back to the 60s, and the legislatures and governors haven't been able to do anything about it. How the hell are you going to do something about it?
I don't know. I'll tell you what's happened is that when, and this is again, there hasn't been a ray of sunshine on this administration with revenues for a while, but we were number 3 in taxation in the country 7 years ago. We're down to about 15 right now. We've gone from number 3 to I think about number 15. And we lowered the top rate on the income tax. So we went from 8.5 to 6 and 3/4. And so we have, I don't think anyone has dropped those rates in a very long time. And some of the fallout from that was that some of the folks that summered here that were very wealthy decided to move here and live. And I witnessed one individual who came to Maine, who runs a hedge fund in Connecticut, who lives in Maine full-time, who wrote a check for his first income tax check to the state of Maine for $3 million. And he said, I am here to stay. And I think that has changed a mindset about Maine. And a lot of, and I hope that you will help me in this election year, that we don't allow candidates for governor run across this state and say bad things about the state. And say that it's a bad place to do business, and it's a bad place for taxation, and it's a bad place for environmental regulation. I think that those problems are out there, but I do think that it's still, there are some trends that are going in the right direction. And if I'm able to continue those trends and make it more business friendly, I think that in my role as a conservation commissioner, we've actually bought and set aside those most beautiful and special places. And we will continue to do that with Land for Maine's Future Dollars and other things. But the other places where we've had industrial development that we can pre-license and set those places aside so they will be opportunities to grow and expand businesses and change sort of that mindset. I agree with you that there's been some real problems, and some of them are very real and some of them are perceived. But I hope that this campaign will be about how we can make a very great place more great. Is that proper? Is that English majors? Don?
How would you balance conservation versus economic development? For example, the Plum Creek project.
Well, I think the Plum Creek was, I can talk about Plum Creek now because when I was in the Conservation Department, it was my job to oversee the Land Use Regulation Commission. And the first, there's still a challenge in the court too, so I need to be pretty careful about what I say. But the fact is that the original plan from Plum Creek was very bad. That it was 15 years of conservation, it was a large number of development lots, and it was a lot of lots that were right on the shoreline. And you know, Mainers like to be right on the shoreline. Some of these ponds and lakes I've flown into over the years, you can see a camp